I'm doing a live from my car directly, actually. As you can see, I try to turn on some lights here, driving around in a cityscape, but I wanted to share some insights with you guys. So the reason for this live is that if you are in somehow a stressed situation, if you're in a depression, if you feel something is off in your life and you kind of like on YouTube searching for some kind of answer, some kind of guidance to why you feel this way, or that there's something wrong, or maybe even someone who has issues or is depressed somehow, or even maybe you have a parent or a friend who has stress. This is for you. This is how I handle stress when I had stress, and how it turned into a depression because I didn't know how to handle it. Maybe you can learn, and I'm sure you can, from my mistakes and my what I did and how I got into it and how I got out. So first of all, if you feel any of these stressful emotions, any depression, any low mood, and it keeps going for more than a couple of weeks, if it's kind of mild, my invitation to you right now is find someone professional that you can talk to. It might be someone like me, but it might also be a psychiatrist, a psychologist, sorry, I'm bad at wording these things when it's evening, but get some help and talk to someone about it, because the worst thing you can do is not talking about it. The best thing you can do for you in your life is start being honest about how you feel. If you are somewhat of a closed person, the best thing to do is writing it down. How to write your emotions down could be buying a journal, something like put a good intention to that you want to change something in your life. And that leads me to the next thing. When I was younger, I started a company in 2003 with two other guys who were quite talented, actually. And one of them started to complain about me not, being too open or something. He always had something to complain about. And it wasn't that he wasn't allowed to complain. The thing is that he didn't do a lot of things in the company, and his job was kind of the administrative assignments. And I got a little bit pissed off because, we were working from my apartment. I was the one getting all the clients. I kind of, knew how to run a business from my sister's side. And all this led to me feeling that something is off here. I won't be staying here. I hate letting people down because I'm an empath. I'm very passionate about people having a good life or being, I don't want to disappoint anyone. So that's what I aim for. And I think that was my stop. But anyways, that's what I aim for. And in this case, I ended that company. I started my own company, and it went really well. And I had some success, and I started helping other people getting into being self-employed and starting your own company. And the programmer that I used to have a company with, one of the three guys, started working for me and with me on projects, and that was really cool because now we were a team again. And the thing was, there was something bubbling underneath, and coming from a very strict dad who has, he's dead now, but he had a lot of mental issues with him being very high tempered. He wanted, very often he would hit me just to smack my bottom or give me like face slaps. And I would be maybe, I don't know, from 4 or 5 years old until I was even up to around, I think I was 16 or something. So it was an issue for a long time growing up like that, but I didn't know anything better. I thought this was kind of, most people will grow up like this, but it did bring a lot of issues with it. And I didn't really handle it because I didn't know how to tell my dad off, like, stop doing that. Only when I got older, he kind of got respect for me and was like, he wouldn't, be violent towards me. And it was not like I was a total problem child or something. He was just very strict, and he didn't agree with my mother's way of raising me. And as he was never home, she was kind of raising me most of the time. And my sister was also participating a lot, who was 9 years older than me. And so all these things that were happening and going on, he would throw out my toys, or he would burn it, or he would take it away or break it in front of me or something, be really coercing and instilling fear. And I almost lived in a fascist daily life where he was the dictator, and he would dictate anything if he had any mood changes. And he was bipolar. From what we know, we really didn't test him, because if you want to test someone who's bipolar, they should be willing to do it themselves. But a few doctors had told him in his old years that he might have bipolar disease, or whatever you call condition. And it doesn't mean that you become a horrible person. Bipolar people are just people who are struggling with some mental issues that can be from anything. Anyways, so he was very much changing moods all the time. So I would try to adjust it and help him without asking if I should help him. But I kind of made it my duty to try to make him happy. And that's how I grew into becoming a healer, because I always wanted to heal my dad. I always wanted to heal everyone else, because I couldn't cope with other people feeling sad or bad or angry or anything, because I felt very unpleasant with any mood change. Because growing up, mood changes meant I would be hit by my dad, or grounded, or something locked in my room. I don't know. And so for me, I would always, and I still have that tendency, because that's how I grew up. I would step into a room and I would look for the first problem child in the room, or someone with low energy that I could fix. And I would step into that and try to fix them, talk to them, see if I can, somehow fix their issue, and kind of make it my duty to change or motivate or manipulate them in a positive way. I'm doing this because maybe that's not what the person wanted, but I would try to manipulate them so they could be happy, so I could relax. And that's very typical pleaser way to. And so a way to be for a pleaser is very often to find someone in the room, or someone that they know, that they can fix their mood. So me not accepting other people's moods was always came from me projecting my own emotions onto others. And I'm just gonna park here real quick just to talk a little bit more. It always, was a projection of myself onto others, because if I couldn't handle other people's emotions, it was because I couldn't handle my own emotions. And this I'm trying to mirror back to you. So coming back to you, if you have a depression, or you have someone that has a depression, or it could be anything from what I said in the beginning, and you feeling that way is very often because there's an emotion that you're running from. There's a feeling that you're running from, and you're projecting it onto others, probably. And if you find yourself doing that, you're watching someone who's been doing that. And sometimes I tend to do that myself, even though I have the information and the knowledge of not doing it. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect and I would never do it or something like that. Well, learn from our mistakes. My best advice right now is, if you have a depression or you have stress, don't try to just and consult your doctor. But what I wanted to do, what I would do, was not medicate myself. I would stop drinking coffee. I would stop drinking anything sugary, things that can, mood boost, because then you feel good about doing that, and then you might project onto things that makes you feel better. I would start doing a lot of sports. Not a lot. I mean, it doesn't have to be your new occupation, but just at least do sports 3 to 5 times a week, and maximum of well, it could be 30 minutes to 1.5 hours or so. Best would be something like running, cross training, hiking, being in nature in general is a great advice. I took that advice myself from others, and it is, after some weeks, it's healing walking in nature. And find a forest, find oceans. Actually, oceans have negative ions. I think I'm translating this from Danish. So, but in the air is some particles that will boost your mood automatically, and will actually make. That's why sometimes walking on the beach or in nature with a lot of air can make you very tired, but that's a good thing because you're being stimulated. So sports, walking in nature, and also, doing some weightlifting, not heavy stuff necessarily, especially not if you're depressed, but doing like making appointments with yourself where you want to do things in your life, but that's not the first thing you want to do. You don't want to, achieve something, because probably why you have a depression right now is because you achieved something. You came from somewhere and you wanted to achieve something to get out of your depression, to get out of your stress. And it's about not achieving something. So if you feel stressed and you feel anxiety or you feel depression, the first thing is not to go do more. The first thing is to stop doing anything. I mean, everything. Excuse me. Stop doing things in general. So if you are at a job and you're stressed at being at that job, you better tell them right now that you're feeling stressed, and then, call in sick and wait a month or so before you get back. Don't wait weeks. It took you an amount of time to get stressed. I'm not talking about short-term stress. I talked about in the beginning. If you have a few weeks of stress, that's when you should stop, doing the things that you usually do. And you should start talking with people that is around you about how you feel. That's super important, because that will prepare them for being there for you. And you can't count on this. When you have stress, you can't count on everyone to just save you. Stress and depression is you saving yourself. And I know it sounds tough, and maybe you don't know how to do it. And that's okay. That's why you're watching this video. And there's more videos like this all around YouTube and everywhere. So it's about research. Don't stay at home every day, just watch things. Maybe set an alarm daily that you would go walk in nature. Typically, around afternoon, something where the day is, has started, and or maybe even start your morning with it would be great for you. If you can just get out of bed, that's number one goal. The next thing would be drink some water, eat healthy food, keep away from sugar, like I said, dairy products, even, flour products like with any corn or something in it. Stay away from these things because they can tend to turn into sugar in your body, and carbohydrates might get turned into sugar. And, but eating healthy food with a lot of variable food, like a lot of typical meats, if you're into that, but vegetables and all that. I'm into meat and vegetables. I like eating fruit a lot. So sugary stuff would be fruit as the only thing. But first step is understanding if you are having stress or depression. It's actually you visiting yourself, having an emotion, having an experience. And that experience doesn't mean that it has to be a bad experience. It's good that you have a depression. It's your body saying no to something. It's your body. Stress is like your body saying, you stepped over the line, sir or madam or miss or whatever. um, and you didn't respect yourself. You said yes to something that you shouldn't have said yes to. And so your body's kind of giving you a response because you know already there was some factors on the way and some hints on the way that you're not doing great, that you were not listening to yourself properly, and you were not being honest with yourself or authentic. And maybe you have a great reason for this, but it's not a time for you to start reasoning with yourself. Acknowledge there's a emotion moving through your body right now, And that emotion is allowed in your body. If you have never handled these hard emotions before, if you've never struggled with something like this before, well, then it's time for you to learn. And that's all it is. It's a learning curve. You'll be fine in the end of it. If you're thinking about killing yourself because it's easier, I'm telling you, it will not be easier, because I work with the spirit world as well. I'm an educated clairvoyant. Being a ghost, just to be, it might sound weird and hilarious, but I'm just gonna warn you, being a ghost by killing yourself, that's gonna feel like an eternity. If you think you had a hard time to staying alive, being a ghost before you can pass over to the other side is way harder. It's very confusing. And I talk to dead people, and just me talking about it now is them saying, oh, someone I can talk to. That's a story for another day. Anyways, that's part of what I do. And I talk to dead people for living people to hear what they have of messages. It's not my main thing. I usually talk about people's future and how they can handle that future, and how to get out of stress, how to get out of emotions, how to stay in an emotion, because that's very important too. So there's an invitation for you right now to stay in that emotion and understand it like you would understand that you were stranded on a desert island, and you can just panic and run all over and yell help, and you will get no help from anyone else, because even if people were there to help you, they wouldn't know how, because you only know you in the basics. But you can talk your way out of it by talking to other people and understanding your emotions, but don't label them first. Start feeling them. So when you figure out on this deserted island that you're stuck there, you might as well find out how to make a fire, how to make a bed, how to at least give it a try, and how to get help to yourself. Like, how do you find food? How do you stay safe? But not worrying, but allow yourself to be led by you, because first of all, your body works. That's why you're here right now. It works because it's telling you something is off. And that's why you're in this situation right now, because something is off. You accepted, this challenge of being undone or unwell, or that's some emotions you haven't dealt with. That's why they're here now. So if you don't deal with it now, it's only going to get worse later. So it's kind of leaving the food you don't want to eat because they're healthy for you, but you just want to eat candy all the time. Your mind's just get candy, get candy, get candy, and you're not wanting to eat normal food, healthy food, which will help you. But in the beginning, it tastes not of sugar, it tastes of something else, and you can't get it down. It's not something that you want because you just want sugar, but you can't have sugar anymore. So this is an analogy, an example. So, but when you start eating these vegetables, slowly your body is gonna get used to this, and it's gonna make you survive, and it's gonna make you thrive, and it's gonna change your body and your system into something that you have not understood before you tried. It's gonna help you on new levels, and it's kind of understanding what you did before didn't work. So that's why you're here. That's why your body actually works. That's why I told you something is off. You have to listen to me, because you know what? You might want to do all these things that your ego wants. You might want to feel better so you can go on a holiday, so you can find a girlfriend, boyfriend. You can, there's so many things you want. You want money, you want cars, you want all these things, and you're looking at all your neighbors, you're looking on social media. Stop comparing yourself. There's a reason why you're here now. Why am I sad when people are not sad? Why don't they talk about this on Instagram? Well, they actually do. You're just following the wrong people. And the people you're following is probably not being honest or authentic about how much struggle it can be to be in a situation of depression or stress. So there's an invitation to allow these feelings to move through you, to eat healthy, to know whatever you did before stepping into stress, whatever you did before you got depressed, is not working anymore. It's not just go out and buy a new car, or get a new haircut, or buy a new phone. And it's not the thing that's going to fix it, but it's great that you're trying. So pat yourself on the shoulder for that, because if you're doing anything, it's good. And it's small steps, so you don't have to do everything at once. I know if you really want change, and you're sick with cancer, or you're sick with some extreme dangerous illness, well, then I would say take a big step. I know it's baby steps, but there's an invitation to take bigger steps, and actually understanding that you want to be somewhere else in your system, where you listen to your body, where you also, here's an invitation, meditate. There's a TV series on Netflix called Mindful. No, it's called Headspace. Listen to that. Learn how to meditate. It's not hard. The thing that's hard is accepting having thoughts while trying to meditate is very normal, it's very regular, and it might be hard to accept. But staying in it and getting better at it, like you would do with a depression, there's an emotion, there's some stress. What is it trying to tell me? I'm trying to do all these things. You know what stress and depression is? Is you not doing all these things all the time. But put down a simple plan with one chore a day. If you're like where I was in bed, I couldn't even get out of bed. So my only mission for a day would be if I could get out of the bed, other than just go to the toilet, but actually go get some water or do something myself. That's a big achievement. And it might sound strange, you've never been so far down in that hole, but that was a big achievement, and I'm glad I did it because I was here today. I am here today. I wanted to not be here on Earth because it seemed to be easier not to be, but I stayed and I understood there was a reason why I got through this. And so now I can sit here in my car in a random night just because I had a conversation with a colleague about him having a stress and depression, and he bought a new phone hoping that would change something. You know what? That's great start, but that's not going to change the whole depression. But it's a good step forward. I'm not saying buy something because that's typically not what you want to do, but you want to step back, do nothing for a while, and be okay with doing nothing. The more that you could be with doing nothing, and more walks you can have in nature, the more meditations you could do. I'm not saying 10 meditations a day, but if you could put like a 10-minute meditation in within your week, depending on where you are in your depression, and let me know in the comments where you are in your depression, how it feels. If you want, share it. You can even create like a fake Google profile and comment below. But I invite you to be honest and be authentic, and maybe share something, or just know that if you comment, someone else is going to read that, and that might actually help them. So I'll try to sum it up, but I know I've said a lot of things. First of all, do everything different that you used to do. Have, like, let's see, you have three things. You have your job, you have your social life with your girlfriend or friends or something, and you have your family. If you want to, if everything just makes you sad, don't let go of all of them. Let go of one thing and see the two things that you now have a focus on might get much better. If you still have issues with these two after a month or two, quit one of them. Stop talking to your family if they're making you sad, or break up. I'm not supposed to do this, but break up with your girlfriend if that is it. Give her that if that's helps you in any way. I'm joking, of course, except if you can use it for anything. But or he, or it can be any gender. I don't care about those things. But so it doesn't matter which one of them you want to let go, but you always want to keep one of them. Never let go of all three. And if you have other values, never let go of more. I mean, you should at least have two or one left. Even if you feel really bad, wait for a while until you have a new family, or you have new friends, or you have a new girlfriend, or a new job, something that can make you have some, like, a daily life or security or comfort in some way, because depression can very much lead people losing all of them, and that can make a depression or stress even worse. So stress is not like you have to quit everything, it just means that you have to have a break. Depression means that you have to quit something. You didn't listen to your stress, you kept working, you kept staying in the relationship, you kept talking to your family, it's not healthy for you. If it's that the case, if you have a great loving family, maybe that's the people you should ask for help now. So again, eating healthy is a great tool. There's so many videos. I recommend you maybe go to, that's one I like right now, but Dr. Eric Berg on Google has a lot of health tips. Maybe that's too much to take in at one time, but I mean, maybe you'll find some videos that you like. And start listening to your intuition. When you start meditating and you listen to your intuition, you will notice that things will, you'll notice things on the street, you'll notice things on when you search for something on Google, or you find some results, or you overhear some conversations understand that that is an invitation for you to listen. Either you're on the frequency, and now it gets a little bit spiritual, but practical, you're on a frequency where if you want to buy a red car right now and you're looking at red cars, you've been researching it for a week or two. If someone talks about red or car on the street, on the bus, on the train, metro, at work, you'll start listening very automatically. So that's you being on the frequency with red cars because that's what you want. So when you know what you want, and very often that also leads to a depression when you don't know what you want, you don't have a purpose, you don't have a goal. It's okay not to have those things, but it would be great if you could just find out what makes you happy. So that could be another thing. Get up when you walk that walk in the morning, start your day like that in nature, and you write down 5 things that you're grateful for. 5 things that you really love that you have in your life. It could be anything like a bed or hair or that you have a face. I mean, it could be anything, but it could also be like, I love my job. I love my boss. My girlfriend is amazing. The support I get from my brother or sister, anything. So that's an invitation too. And I hope you're taking notes, writing down, because that's the next step. Start writing down things that make sense to you, that you liked from yesterday, and maybe do a diary in the evening. Just write like, I don't know, 10 things that you did today, or 1 thing that you did today. If you're really in a deep depression, just take 1 full page and write on the page, I'm great because I did this today. That's the honest truth. Because if you would do nothing and here's nothing and here's you would do something, that means you're moving some places. And if you're here doing nothing, that's okay too. You can stay there for a while. But if you stay there for more than, I would say, 3 months or 6 months, I hope you have had a therapist all the way through, because that's not doing nothing, that you're doing something. I could keep going on by this, but I think it's time to end this video. If you had anything and you don't think any of the things that I told you are something that you can use, maybe write in the comments what you think can be better, or that you hope, or tell me about where you are in life, what you've tried, why didn't it work, what worked for you, and what worked in your past life. I mean, not past life, but what worked early in your life, and when were you happy at the last time, and maybe be very prepared to give things up in your life that you had before, things that felt very comfortable, because that is when we grow. We don't grow when we stay in the same spot all the time, but we need to stay in the same spot in a long time when we have a depression. We need to stay in the same spot for a shorter while when we have stress. And we have to learn from it, learn from your mistakes. And that's why a diary, gratefulness lists, vision boards. And what helped me a lot was a coach called Tony Robbins. If you don't know who he is, start watching his documentary, I'm Not Your Guru, on Netflix. And this is not a commercial for Netflix at all. But a lot of people and a lot of coaches has helped me. One coach that also has helped me, I'll share on my Instagram. And if you want to see more about these things, what I recommend and what I listen to and what I get motivated by, how to get out of depressions and all these things and how to get balance in life, go on Instagram, look up Mark Barner, M-A-R-K, Barner, B-A-R-N-E-R, and start following me there. And turn on the notification bell, because Instagram tends to not like what I share sometimes. And you'll probably find out why. So if you're curious, go on there now. And I hope you liked this video. If it helped you in any way, let me know what helped you in the comments. If you don't want to share a comment or so, hit the like button. If you really think that none of this can help anyone in a depression, well, that other button seems to do the trick. And I hope you subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of different things. I know it's not one-way street, but it's going to turn into much more spirituality. And there's a lot of travel videos, but that is all there to make some good vibes rise in you so you can get happy, healthy, and great. Anyways, I'll try to put myself in some light here. And thank you for watching so much. And I wish you well. I know there's a great thing waiting for you. But remember to, even if it hurts, enjoy the ride, learn from your mistakes. There's a reason why you're here, and there's a reason why you listen to this video. I wish you well. Take care. And love yourself eventually. And I did this video because I love you. Might sound strange, but it's true.